Stop calling me Joseph. My name is Chucky.
Don Mancini has definitely made this show for the cult fans of the franchise, because even the social media promotions and marketing campaigns of the show feel like a special bonus. After tearing off the president's face, Chucky is on a mission for this entire episode. Now that he is finally about to bite the dust, our favorite bloodthirsty doll is on a murderous adventure to become the world's most prolific serial killer. In the last episode, we saw Chucky suffer a severe bout of existentialism. That was until Jennifer Tilly counseled him into not giving up and going out in a blaze of glory. Although he looks weak and defeated, just like his cute face before, his cracked face now is also deceiving. Chucky is nowhere close to being satisfied after killing the world's most powerful man. This doll is now aiming to start World War III. Will he finally accomplish this feat before meeting his end? Without wasting another moment, let's discuss how episode 6 of Chucky Season 3 went. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
But we're just getting to the best part.
Warren Price cleans up President Colin's body. Panic Room begins in the quiet of the night as Henry pays a visit to the wheelchair-bound Chucky. When the naive little boy asks how he could make Chucky comfortable, the murderous doll goes on to make a speech about how nothing lives forever, and the only way to make a life count is through the banger deeds one leaves behind. If it were not coming from Chucky, you would probably take this one as a life lesson. But you and I both know what lasting impact Chucky was speaking of. The doll actually wants to leave a legacy behind that is revered in history for eons beyond his time. And so to bring this plan to fruition, he proposes a new game to Henry, urging him to never lose sight of Chucky. On the other hand, Charlotte discovers her husband James' body in their late son Joseph's old room. She's clearly taken aback and is constantly blaming herself for everything, while Price continues to be a condescending ass. And if the sight of her husband's face with his eyes gouged out was not enough, a mysterious writing appears on the wall, that too in fresh blood, saying Chucky did it. Soon after Charlotte and Price witness these horrors, the latter steps out to make a call, leaving Charlotte alone in Joseph's room. While she's grieving, 2 agents arrive to clean out President James' body and proceed to move Joseph's dresser around. When Charlotte starts protesting, the agents ask her to step into the dresser for her safety. Instead, she runs away, only to be stopped by Coop and Price in the hallway, who warn her not to disturb her sons. After realizing that her family is anything but safe under Price, Charlotte rushes to Grant's room, hastily waking up her sons and asking them to pack for an unplanned trip to visit their aunt in Chicago. However, Price intervenes, forbidding her to leave the White House, given that the Americans simply cannot find out how the president died because it is a sensitive matter, which could fracture the entire country. In this entire scene, Warren Price really shows his true colors by rushing to cover up the president's death, leaving First Lady Charlotte Collins no time to process her grief. Even when Charlotte tries to shield her children from the truth, she struggles to keep herself composed and ultimately is forced to Price's will.
But sometimes you're in a hurry, so...
The president has a body double. In the morning, Henry, like he had promised, brings Chucky along with him for the family breakfast. The doll isn't looking very hot. Chucky looks like he's about to hit the grave any second, but Grant mistakes his aged appearance to be Henry's expert makeup skills. But on a serious note, the old doll's appearance is incredibly detailed, with his thinning silver hair and age spots that make it seem like the perfect merge of a good guy toy and a real elderly person, creating a creepy and realistic effect. Anyways, the topic of conversation changes when Grant notices his father missing and inquires about the previous night, but Charlotte quickly dismisses it. Apparently she was overreacting after seeing a bad dream and assures the boys that their father was busy at work. Soon after, she's summoned to her office to meet with Price. When Charlotte insists on leaving the White House with her family again, Price reminds her that she's also involved in covering up the supernatural deaths at the White House, and he has proof of her accepting it. Now that the president is gone, Charlotte cannot reveal the truth to anyone, given that it's a matter of the country's security, which is bigger than James, Charlotte, or their family. Price explains that he's tracked down a government paranormal expert to assist their investigation. But what leaves Charlotte completely floored was the sight of James' body double, who would apparently act as the president, until the administration decides on how to announce his death to the public. Meanwhile, Jake and Devin return from their trip to a furious Lexi, who's appalled to see her friends busy wasting time consummating their teenage relationship, while her sister still remains missing. Soon the couple gives her the good news that Chucky's soul is cursed, and this time he can't come back to life after he dies. But this does not ease Lexi, because if the doll dies, she will never have a chance to find out where Chucky has hidden Caroline. Despite this, she tells them that they're going to try one last time when they visit the White House for dinner with Grant.
We're just getting to the best part.
A Chucky-style dinner at the White House. The trio of teenagers arrive for their final play at the White House as Chucky watches them enter. Grant and Lexi plan on a movie night, but are deviated from the topic when Lexi insists on Grant playing the piano for her. Weirdly enough, they start a cute jamming session while Devin and Jake awkwardly walk around the room looking for Chucky. Their merry band is then interrupted by an absent-minded Charlotte, who seems to have completely forgotten that they were going to have company for the night. She soon composes herself and asks the children about dinner. In the next scene, the entire group is seen sharing a pizza at the dinner table, while Charlotte is pouring herself a gigantic glass of wine in order to calm her nerves. She still seems to be restless and absent-minded, something that Grant easily picks up on. He once again asks about his father's absence and is told that President Collins was unwell. When Grant questions the inconsistency with Charlotte's earlier explanation about him being busy, she abruptly leaves the room for a smoke, completely weirding out everyone. Charlotte then sees Randall being taken to the executive residence by Price. The room is set up with many fancy medical equipment in order to maintain the illusion of the president's illness to the media. Charlotte is clearly not happy with her husband being so easily replaced and warns Randall not to leave the room. While the body double yaps away, Charlotte goes into Joseph's room to finish her cigarette, but something very strange happens as she turns around to see James staring back at her. At first, she's drawn to caress his cheek, but then James' face changes to an eyeless bloody scream, scaring the living daylights out of her. Panic Room really highlights Charlotte's desperate situation, showing how much is really at stake beyond just Chucky's antics, as her mental health worsens with every passing scene. Meanwhile, Lexi comes clean to Grant about Chucky and his penchant for murder. Although Grant is in utter disbelief, he still agrees to listen to Lexi, Devin, and Jake to track down Henry and take his doll away from him. On the other hand, Henry is carrying Chucky into a room within the executive residence, where there's a gun hidden in a safe. Even if Chucky hates guns, he has no other way to go, given that his powers are fading as the curse slowly taints his soul. After getting the gun out, Henry takes Chucky to Randall's room where he finally shows his true colors, charging the gun at Randall, who's now completely shocked by watching a doll take him hostage. Both Henry and the fake president are forced to find their way to the Situation Room. Now, the entire White House is lined up with Warren Price's minions, giving Chucky the full-blown opportunity to leave a string of bodies for the sake of his delightfully gory mayhem. The doll first shoots an agent in the elevator, and then takes down another one at the door. The second one is probably the most Chucky-like kill in the entire episode, as he stabs the guy in the eye with a ballpoint pen. Meanwhile, Henry and Randall watch it all happen with utter disgust and fear. Chucky finishes his kill to take back charge of his hostages before they have a chance to act smarter.
I'll have 8 billion victims.
How does episode 6 of Chucky season 3 end? On a ploy to track Chucky down, Grant, Lexi, Jake, and Devin take the elevator, only to discover the agent's body with the text "Chucky did it" written in blood on the door. As the teenagers get out of the elevator, they follow the mayhem left behind by Chucky till the Situation Room. Meanwhile, inside the Situation Room, Chucky forces Randall to contact the North American Aerospace Defense Command and access the US nuclear missiles using the numbers from the card that Chucky swiped from President Collins' body. After Randall clears the main thing for Chucky, the doll pulls out Collins' bloody eye from his pocket in order to pass the retinal verification for the security check and launch nuclear missiles to Moscow, Pyongyang, and the North Pole. Apparently, Chucky wants to leave a record-breaking kill count by obliterating millions of people, and of course Santa, so the kids knew there was no point to Christmas anymore. In short, Chucky hates Santa and wants the red guy gone for good. Just when the missiles are about to launch, the teenagers make their way to the Situation Room. After Henry snuck out to open the door for them, Devin began recording Chucky on his phone, bragging that he'll be remembered as the greatest serial killer ever, and Lexi, on the other hand, started interrogating the doll about her sister. But the bloodthirsty doll is least bothered and only cares about increasing his body count. Just as Chucky is about to carry out his plan to push the final button for the missile launch, Coop and Price burst into the Situation Room. Coop shoots Chucky right in the heart, almost subduing him. Price then instructs Randall to abort the mission, but Chucky manages to launch a nuclear missile toward the North Pole, before dying and turning to dust. Price then assures Randall that this issue could be dismissed by calling it an accidental launch. After Charlotte comes in, her son directly confronts her about the man pretending to be their father, and this time when Price tries to threaten her, she takes charge of the situation and shuts him up. In the midst of this chaos, the ghost of a very old Charles Lee Ray appears in the hallway, creepily smiling as the episode ends. I'm guessing Chucky's antics are far from over, because now Ray's ghost is back to double the trouble within the White House, causing much more murder and mayhem, while remaining invisible in one of the most powerful places on Earth. Marvelous verdict. Although this episode does not have a huge number of crazy kills, I still loved every bit of Old Man Chucky's antics. Even if Jake, Devin, and Lexi were determined to stop Chucky and save Lexi's sister, they were always a few steps behind the tiny deadly killer. If anything, Panic Room has fully established the fact that Chucky plays by his own rules, even with his twisted sense of ethics, that fueled his gun lecture, which is just so typical of him. This 3-foot doll-faced killer thrives on unpredictability and simply does not care about following norms or rules. Plus, it did not matter how old or weak he was, Chucky still managed to go out in a blaze of glory. But did he really die? I don't think so, with Ray's ghost being set up to navigate the final 2 episodes of the season. I think the body count in the White House will be even higher than ever. What do you guys think? Will Ray as a ghost be able to precede his own reputation as Chucky? Let us know in the comment box below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
Yourself together. You're Chucky, the killer doll.
You do your best.